Hey guys, you see the title. Today's topic is going to be on Shericka Jackson. We're going to be getting to the other athletes that I mentioned before, but World Athletics wrote an article about something I was about to point out. I think I did do it a little bit on a previous video. Here it is on the screen right here. Remember how I said if Shericka Jackson could be compared to Allyson Felix's versatility. Remember, the relays kind of depend on the nation that you're at. So somebody like a Shaunae Miller-Uibo may not have the ability because they may not be as strong in some years in the 4x1 and the 4x4, but she definitely does have that versatility as well. We're about to go into that into the article because, yeah, without further ado, that was the other one. I'm going to tag it here in the end card. You can see it at the end about the workhorse of Jamaica, Shericka Jackson. That's the previous video, this one right here. And then also, don't forget this video where we were talking about the world record watch on who's very likely or who's most likely to get the world record at least first out of the people on this list, or if it's somebody else. So Shericka Jackson was featured in that video. So don't forget to check that out. Remember, you're watching Head and Shoulders ATR, where we cover athletes' performances and otherwise that are head and shoulders above the rest. Don't forget to kiss that diamond as always. That means smash the subscribe button, like, comment, and most importantly, share this video with others. Also, this video is made possible by viewers like yourself. So sign up to Patreon, which is in the description below. Also, Cash App, Chime Sign, and PayPal donations also in there, as well as cryptocurrencies. Let's get into this. So World Athletics kind of beat me to this one. So I'm going to read their article, add my own commentation on this, or commentary on this, actually would be the better term for it. So here's the title. It says, Jackson, quote, "I love challenges, and this year was one of them." All right, end quote. So I'm not going to read the entire article word for word. I'm just going to summarize what it is, especially the points that I wanted to say here. Now, did you know that she is the first Jamaican woman, as they point out correctly here, they did some of my research for me, to run under 11 seconds for the 100, under 22 seconds for the 200, and under 50 seconds for the 400. That is a crazy good feat. Only 10 women have ever done that. All right. And as they say here, she's only the third since 2000. That makes Allyson Felix, Shaunae Miller-Uibo, and Shericka Jackson the only 3 women after 2000 to do something like that. So she is in good company. And don't forget, she was the bronze medalist behind those 2 athletes before, as they show you here back from Beijing 2015. So she medaled in Beijing. She medaled in, and remember, they're a little bit stretched out longer than they are there just because of how I tried to get this screen. So they are stretched out very long compared to their normal size. But anyway, here we go. So she was able to medal in 2015, get another bronze in 2016, come back in, what is it? I forgot the relays. Remember, you get the relays. So she's able to medal from Beijing 2015 all the way to now. Obviously, Jamaica did get DQ'd or because one of the athletes pulled up in 2019. Or was that 2017? Sorry. So, yeah. And then in 2019, she was on the 4x1 and the 4x4. Isn't that crazy? So she's able to do that whole range. And yes, there were some mistakes that were made this year, and she talks about that later in this article. So she came and had her best of 49.47 in Doha, right when it matters the most, at the World Championship final. All right, that got her a bronze. Look, she got a bronze this year in Tokyo. We all know that was the 10.76 in the final of the 100, and then at the Diamond League final, she got a new PR, 21.81. All right, in Zurich. Now, this is the crazy thing that's happened, because she said, I'm going to go down and skip around and then come back up, because she said that she was dealing with a stress fracture. Where is that? Somewhere in here. She was dealing with a stress fracture. Here it is. After the 2019 season, in November, I did an x-ray and found I was running with 2 stress fractures. For me to be here in 2021, she says, is such a good feeling. In 2020, I struggled so much, she added. All right. Now, this is what she said. She said, quote, "I kept going because I never wanted to take one full year off and not do any activity. It was mentioned about doing surgery, but I never wanted to do that. I had a teammate who did that, and it was good for him. But by observing and listening to him, I just never wanted to be in that position. All right. So, look, the thing is that, see, she's a very competitive athlete. And just like myself and other people, you know, Johan Blake, he worked very hard. And unfortunately, he worked himself where he never allowed himself to heal fully. I've worked through some things, running through a groin injury, running through an Achilles heel thing. And I'm not even getting paid to their level to compete. It's just that I have some goals. And I'm like, taking off this time, I don't know about that. So when you are going with highly competitive people that want to win, I know a lot of people in the comment section will be like, yeah, Jamaica. Each one of these people are individuals. They individually want to win. They individually have their goals. Just like she said here, she wants to come here. She didn't want to take off a year, right? She did not want to take off a year. So what she's looking to do here is to come out, and she wants to put in that work. Now, she did stop running in August, right? And then she took some time off. That's where she took the time off. And this actually allowed her, because it says here, she says she stopped competing in August, and she took time in the pool. She worked with the physical therapist, and she's gone to so many of them and so forth to work out. Now she's grateful. Let's go back up, because this is her talking about her 400 and getting into that. Look, she got a medal in the 100, a 4x4, and a 4x1, 4x1 and 4x4. Now, she said the 200, she said she had never lost concentration like that. She said, I never lost focus, and said everything happens for a reason. I may not have known the reason. I may have a goal that I go into the championship with, and the goals that I have for myself, but God may not have planned the same for me. So she said, but for people to see how great an athlete I can be, to run great for 100 and 400, it's a good feeling. All right. Because she said, remember, I told y'all, now I got to pat myself on the back for this one. I told y'all earlier this year, one of the first few videos that I said, look out for Shericka Jackson in the 100. And so many people were like, oh no. Look, I might have to tag that video in a couple of days. Look, she said, a lot of people never knew I was that good. All right. Look, okay. This is the ego, and this is rightfully earned. Every athlete that's competing at these high levels, if you're in the top of your nation, I assume they have an ego, whether they have a medal behind them or not. A lot of people keep saying, oh, the athletes are very humble or whatever like that. You start asking them questions and you get close enough to them, it's whether they allow you to hear that or not. But she said it's a good feeling. She wants to be acknowledged, for people to know that she's good all around. She's a great all around sprinter. And she said that people were really doubting her. That's another way of saying this. In 2019, she ran the 400 and got a medal. Then came back and ran the 4x4 relay and ran the 4x1. Basically, it went unnoticed because most people watch the short individual sprints. Now, she would have said sprints, just like some of you guys in the comment section don't look at the 400 as a quote-unquote sprint. Weird. But hey, different cultures, different things, they are saying it. Now, the last time I checked, 400 don't got a pace setter or anything like that, or no cutting in lanes. But hey, to each their own. But with that being said, she said people didn't notice. And that's just how it is. Even Jamaicans, as a sprint nation, don't pay attention to the 4x4 or the 400. She said a lot of people didn't notice that. Now, she ran the 4x1, and more people noticed that because that's a highly watched event. This is where I tell y'all a lot of times, the 200 is not as popular as a pole vault. More people watch the pole vault. Now in Jamaica, different story. But just overall, and so what do you think about the 400, which is even less popular than the 200? An individual might draw them, but the event itself, that's the thing. So she said, so this year I was able to sprint and run a leg of the 4x4. That was a great moment for me after the disappointment of the 200. Well, I wouldn't call it a disappointment. It was a lesson I have to learn. All right. That's the way she took away from it. Great mindset. Obviously, she's feeling it's a disappointment because that's how she said it the first time. But also, while being disappointed in that, something tells me she probably wanted to medal in all of those. Because you know what? If she has the mindset that people are finally acknowledging how good she is in these other events and they were doubting her, right? Just imagine the boost in her own morale, her own ego and everything. For people to know that she's not only, remember, we call her Action Jackson on this channel. I've been calling her that for a while, right? And so, can she be compared to Allyson Felix's versatility? Yes. In the 100, she's definitely better. Over the 400, that's going to be very close. She's just a step away, and obviously, she's getting close in that 200. So if she can come this next year, that's going to be something. And remember, we were talking about she's the workhorse of Jamaica. Remember, the same way that the Polish athletes are a workhorse, before somebody gets their panties in a bunch saying, oh, don't call her a workhorse, it's all racism or something like that. They used horses before the Doha sprint events too. Remember? As a matter of fact, to avoid the racism, they put a white person first, then they showed a horse right after that. So y'all go and cry to them as much as you cry in the comment section here. Somebody else will pay attention. Now, see this right here. Oh, yeah, where was I at? So, she said she was really worried. She wanted to get back. And then when she found out. Now, this is the big thing of why I said that she's the workhorse. Even her mindset is of somebody like, hey, coach, I'll do what you say. Tell me what's up. I said that in one of the videos, but this article confirms it. And I think, where is it at here? She says she doesn't care what it is. If she has her mind set out for it, here it is. She said she wants to relax for a week and eat some junk food. She don't want to get too much weight that she got to lose. Some nice relaxation, eating some food, go to a hotel. She's a simple person. She likes to relax, read and listen to music, okay? Now, here's the thing. She got a fire in her belly. She said, I am willing to run all events. Hey, coach, put me in. That's basically it. Hey, coach, put me in, right? I told y'all that's what type of person she appears to be. And I was correct. You could tell a lot about a person by how they carry themselves on a track, how other people respond to them. Remember, I told y'all about the other person where it's all for entertainment and they actually respond in a very pleasing way. That's what I'm telling you. There's a difference. Some people, they respond coldly when they win. We're not going to name any names for all of the athletes. And other ones, they are in a pleasing way. Now, it's different when it's the championships because everybody might have their own mindset. Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce at the moment was a little upset, right? So, this is what she said. I am willing to run all events. She continues here. If my coach says we will run the 400, I am always up for it. I like to challenge myself. I don't limit myself to what I can do. I go after what I want. I work really hard. If it means going back to the 400 meters next year, I am definitely up for the task. But for me, I love challenges, and this year was one of them. The sprinting challenges me a lot. If my coach and I discuss that I go back to the 400, I have no problem. It is not a problem to run all events. You see that? Man, I got to applaud her just for that right there. Now, you don't find that with many athletes like that. It's so many sprint athletes that look at the 400 and equate it to like the mile. That's why so many don't even view it as a sprint for some weird reason, right? Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce is one of them. She's like, oh my goodness, I can't, I beg. No, that's more a Nigerian thing to say, I beg. But it's essentially the same thing. She'll be like, please, no, I will retire right now before you put me in another serious 400, basically. That's what she'll say. Now, this is the thing here. Let's go up. It's in my notes. I got to find it here on the screen. I'll pause this so I won't delay you guys. Here it is right here. Now, look. She was still running with 400-meter training above earlier in this season. Doesn't this sound familiar? Fred Curley, other people. Man, these 400 athletes are coming out and showing y'all how to do the 100. Now, sure, there are some 100-meter specialists like Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce, Elaine Thompson here. They're more short sprinter, mid-sprinter specialists and everything, right? But you're getting so many 400 athletes coming down. Why don't you just try it? Why don't you get somebody that's decent in the 400, try to test them out and convert them a little bit like they did here? Coach Paul Francis, that is, they said they wanted to tackle the 200 and the 100. They thought they were just going to be on the relay spot. So that means fourth or lower. Remember, fourth or lower. They thought she was going to be on the relay like in Doha, remember? So they were just like, hey, look, we just going to try to get on the relay here. Whatever happens, as long as we get in that top 6 seed, we're on the relay. And then you already know they're going to come to you for the 4x4 relay. So you don't have to worry about that. Let's see what we can do. We could probably qualify in the 200, get on the relay in the 100. And then what happened? They went and exceeded their expectations. The results went way beyond expectations. So when I tell y'all that Shericka Jackson is the workhorse, don't y'all doubt that again. Because she said, Coach, let me at him. Like, that's her mindset, it seems like. She's like, I am willing to run all events. Coach, put me in that event. Oh, what? You need me to run? All right, I got you. And then she goes, she does exactly what is needed of her. She had a championship. That's why, look, when I told y'all about Allyson Felix before, I can now say this about Shericka Jackson. I could have said it about her before, but this was about Felix. Remember when I said if I had an athlete we were going for team points. Now, this is what would expose a good team. If we did a team-based thing in track and field, like what they do for NCAAs, we already got a working system. We could just copy it, right? But if we did something team-based, I'm saying, look, for the most points, I'm going to go with an Allyson Felix type of thing because she's going to actually edge out Shelly-Ann Fraser-Price for points. Because, you know, Allyson Felix did prevent them from sliding down several times, right? She prevented them from sliding down and getting second at least twice in the 4x4 and helped set that world record in the 4x1. Hey, putting somebody else on the team, they might have came second to Jamaica that time. Remember? Okay, so Shericka Jackson definitely, because a lot of people are like, well, if you hold the same argument with Shericka Jackson, do you believe that Jamaica could have got third this year by having somebody else on the squad instead of Shericka Jackson? Sure, it's not her best 400 that she ran, but she's clearly a very strong 400-meter athlete, and whatever she needed to do, they would have done it. That's what I'm saying. You take her off that 4x4. Now, take her off the 4x1 or with the USA that relatively close behind. Do you think Jamaica still could have got it? Because y'all say all those arguments and up and down about Allyson Felix. Oh, it depends on other people. Yes, it does. But take those people off in their influence and the times that they can run and whatever it is. And you tell me if they still place in the same exact spot. Because if you say it about Allyson Felix, that just shows you how much depth the USA has. And if you say it doesn't happen with Shericka Jackson, that means one person off, Jamaica doesn't earn a medal. Jamaica doesn't win. That means the depth needs to increase. So with that, Jamaica is being held up and uplifted even more with Shericka Jackson. I think both of the athletes are good. But what I'm saying is that she is the greatest athlete right now, sprint athlete, that's coming out of Jamaica. Dare say maybe even the Caribbean, but Shaunae Miller-Uibo might give her a run for her money, right? She was a little bit hurt this year, and she still ran a tenth of a second PR in the 400, and she just jogged that 200. It was pretty obvious at the end. But when it comes down to it, look, Shericka Jackson, workhorse of Jamaica, I think she's the best athlete. Let me know if she's the best sprint athlete on the female side that Jamaica has. And actually, I think she might have more range. Yeah, she got more range than any of the guys, even in more recent history, who has the same range as that. Usain Bolt did not do 4x4s or run the open 4. So as far as that, yeah, sure, he was quick in the 400, but then he just didn't move back up. So I can't even include him in the argument. Sure, he could have, would have, should have. He didn't. So at this point, I don't see another male or female athlete that's standing to the same totem pole that Shericka Jackson has. And she's still got time to go. She's young enough where she's got time to do this at least one more Olympics, maybe two, actually. And it's going to depend on her teammates to get her through with the rest, obviously, with those relays. But if she makes a significant impact where if she's off that relay, they can't do anything, or they would fare significantly worse, that's what I'm telling you. That person has a lot of depth themselves. Let me know if you agree in the comment section below. You've been watching, as always, a Head and Shoulders ATR production where we cover athletes' performances and otherwise that are head and shoulders above the rest. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. I'll catch you all in the next one. Peace and much love.